stories 24/7.
Talking about from exciting games
Check.
to juicy gist
Double check.
and great music.
Super check.
All these and more on your number one PlayStation 101.7 Kids FM.
Don't be the last to join the train. Download the Kids FM app on your iOS or Play Store today.
And listen to Kids FM anywhere in the world.
Stay tuned on the go.
You can stream on our website at kidsfm.ng.
And guess what? Kids FM is coming to your city real soon. So watch out, because it's going to be more fun on your airwaves.
So tune in and stay locked on 101.7 Kids FM.
Let's play.
This is Nigeria's number one talk radio station.
Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info. We are back.
All right, welcome to the conversation. To the last caller, I am so sorry for the disconnect. We had to go on an ad break, but I would like for you to call back. I need to hear that concluding part of the story about it being your experience and all that. Let's see. Okay, I wanted to be sure we're live. Apparently, we're not live, so you cannot watch us live, but we're live. Oh yes, we're live. We're live on Facebook page Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, and on X at Nigeria Info PH. We also have the WhatsApp and Telegram number, which remains 0809 030 6416, and then for calls 0817 923 0002. We also have 0817 923 0003. It's raining. Maybe the network is bad at your end, but you could try 0817-923-0009, and we hope you're able to get through to us. But if you are not, send us a message, okay? Send us a message, and I'll gladly read. Nigerian for good afternoon.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said growing up, there's this child in my neighborhood that I always like bullying.
You were bullying?
Okay, so, yes, bullying when we play. So, there was this day we went out to play, and he was on me, and I got offended, and I knocked him really hard. He passed out. I ran to the house. When I got to the house, I told my mom that I involved myself in a fight, but I didn't tell her the person passed out. So, she said, "You fight." I said, "Yes, I did." So later, the boy's parents came and they brought him to the house, and they asked my mom everything, and then they asked my mom sent for me. Said he actually almost killed somebody. I said, "Yes." Okay. She said, "Very good." She said, "Madam, what we do now is to take him to the hospital." So eventually they took the boy to the clinic, they checked on him, he was fine, gave him some medication. And then my mom she said, "The reason why I am not doing anything to you is because I know you don't do this. But please just fix your boy's shirt or go buy him another shirt. I've paid for his medical bill." It happened. But I think that at some point, parents should be able to discipline their children, because if you don't, on the long run, that boy will grow up with that mentality of not being responsible for things he does. So that's my take on the whole thing. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you too, and thank you for sharing your own experience. And thank God that boy it wasn't worse than that, because I've watched a lot of kids fight, and I can tell you that sometimes it doesn't end well, because you begin to wonder, where did this anger come from? And what if in the process of the fight, this other person hits something and that's it? Jack from Ajip. Welcome, Jack.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry, please. My own is that so many parents today, I will go spiritually now. Guys, you go to the Bible, the scripture that so many of us say that we are Christians. So many parents today, I believe they will not make it, and even so many proprietors. Looking at Eli as a case study, Eli's problem was not that he doesn't, he didn't serve God very well, but his children was the problem. So many parents, how would you tell me? The Bible says, fear not the rod to spoil the child. Now, parents are spoiling the child to spare the rod. And at the end of the day, we are only custodians of these children. One day we will stand before God to give account of these children given to us to manage. Because God is the owner of the children, because the children are the heritage of God, not man. So I will advise so many Christians and so many fathers or pastors and even proprietors should please take it straight to any parent. If you are not ready to discipline your child, don't bring it to my school. I wish I would be blessed around in school. If you know you cannot discipline your child, don't bring it to my school. Even to some extent, it has even entered the church. That even some children, you are trying to correct them in the church, parents should be angry. And in fact, I don't know what to say, but I pray God will help us.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mother.
IB from Roma Crushi. How are you doing today, IB?
I'm doing good. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Talk to me.
All right. I'm a teacher in the school.
Okay. Good. I liked having conversations with teachers.
So there's this particular family in the school that she has about 4 kids. So they are almost in the classes in junior basic. Lower basic and nursery. So even up to the least, that is the one in pre-nursery, will go home and say, my teacher flogged me. You know that this woman will pick up her phone and call. That is if her child is in the class. You know. Hello?
I'm with you.
Okay. If her child is in your class, you just have to be careful. So it now happened that particular family, if you are to scold the entire class, you will avoid that particular child in your class. If you are to correct, you will avoid that particular child in your class. She doesn't only call. Sometimes she will come in the morning and say, I want to see the teacher of this class. And before you start coming, she's almost being physical with you.
So what are the school authorities doing about her?
So there's this thing about customers are always right. It's on her alone. So you find out that those kids in the school misbehave. They do all sorts of things that the discipline you have to take on, the disciplinary action you have to take on, you have to be very careful. So you hand it over gently to the owner of the school and say, this is what Mrs. So children did. So he is the one that takes up from there. And it doesn't change them in any way. They are becoming worse. Now, what other teachers are praying is that one day they will just on their own say, we are coming to the school again. I'm withdrawing my kids from the school because they influence others. You can discipline others. This discipline I'm telling you, as low as
oh dear.
Hello?
Emeka?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, welcome, Emeka.
Thank you very much. What you talked about actually is actually poor parenting, like very poor parenting. I used to work at a school. Okay, you see parents who actually take their kids' words over the word of a teacher. This kind of stuff. Something might happen in school. Their children might try to do it over the line and create about stuff. And you see the parents believing everything the child said over what the teacher said, over what actually happened. So sometimes you have to visit the cameras to check and confirm and stuff. And it's not nice because parents of this generation, they tend to, I don't know, but it's actually not very nice, honestly.
growing up, this is how I grew up. Even an outsider will beat the hell out of you. I don't think I'm wrong. I'm right. Even before your parents will even come into the picture. That kind of stuff.
Wow, that's a lot. Miracle from Abia State. Hi, Miracle.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Miracle. Talk to us.
I'm good. Okay. About what you said last week. There was a boy in my street that the boy is rude and he always lies fighting. So their parents don't do anything about it. Even if when the boy is innocent, their parents deny it. I keep wondering why their parents always cover the boy for what he did.
You keep wondering why?
Yes.
I also wonder the
His
same.
parents always cover him in everything.
They always cover him. And you don't even have an idea if behind they go back and they scold the child or they discipline the child.
No way.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me read some messages now. Barisa from Port Harcourt says, good afternoon. Well, most parents of this new generation always support their children in whatever bad things they do wrongly, which is really bad. But when these children grow up, it will definitely fall back on the parents because parents will be expecting them to behave well and then it will be late. So I'm advising every parent to discipline their children. Tamara Akema says that's part of the problem we have in our society. But why? Why do parents see the need to defend their children? You know your child. It's a different ball game if you know your child and someone comes to accuse your child of theft. Oh, of course, you cannot come and accuse my child of. There are things I know my child does. I will even be the one to be vocal about it. I will warn. If someone comes to me and says, your child beats my child, I say, child, sorry, oh, please. I apologize. Forgive. We are working on it. Okay? But it's just how she shows love. You know how she sees people, she feels that is kissing, but she's actually biting. So forgive. Will I now start saying, no, now, how can you accuse my child of biting your child? You're victimizing my child, you're doing this, you're doing that. You know what your child can do, you know what your child is capable of. You know your child bullies. You see how your child bullies people at home, the domestic staff that is far older than this child. You know your daughter lies. She wakes up, she lies. She sleeps. If she greets you good morning, you just have to be sure that it is actually morning. You know these things. It's a different ballgame if you don't know and you are defending and the truth comes to the open and you will now have to start apologizing. But even at that, why is defense usually the first line of action for some parents as opposed to asking critical questions to determine the truth of what actually transpired? And some people grow up with that attitude until the child, gets involved in a bigger crime in the larger society. And it's the police coming to knock on their door. And even at that time, you will still find some mothers shielding their children. They know their child is a cultist. They know. Everybody in the environment, who doesn't know that Uchechi is a cultist? We all know now, it's not hidden. And then the police comes. And in the presence of the police, you're saying, no, she's a good girl. My son cannot do that. My son is not a criminal. My son doesn't even know how to hold a gun. Why defend first? Why not ask questions first? You love these children. I understand that you love them. But are you doing them good when they see that every time someone brings a report about their bad behavior, you are always going to say, no, my child didn't do it. My child cannot do this. My child is a good child. Are you doing them good? So they can actually go out and do bad things, knowing fully well that mommy is going to defend. Mommy is even ready to tie. There's that thing some mothers used to do then. They will remove the hair tie from their head, tie on their waist, and they are ready to fight battle. And you, the child, now, you'll be at one corner. You'll not be feeling fly. That's my mommy, y'all. My mommy is fighting for me, y'all. Back to your messages. Good afternoon, presenter. Until we go back to the era where if someone sees you doing something wrong and disciplines you before your parents will do theirs, because I met an era where if you are doing something wrong and anyone older than you saw you, he would deal with you, and when you get home and your parents ask you, and your parents ask you after explaining, they will deal with you also without going back to this. No way, because that's why people of those days are more reasonable than children today. J. Moore from Port Harcourt. Good afternoon. Well, most parents of this generation always support their children in whatever bad things they do wrongly, which is really bad. But when these children grow up, it will definitely fall back on the parents, because parents will be expecting them to behave well, and then it will be late. So I'm advising every parent to discipline their children. I thought I've seen this message before. I think I have. I have. Hi, Prince from Onel. Welcome to the sunny side. Go ahead.
My name is okay. About the
Onelga.
What you are saying.
Mm.
Some mother used to defend their children due to what they did not see. Like my mother did not used to defend me. That is how my mother trained me. If I do anything, she will ask me. She will call me. Hello, did you do this thing? I will say yes or no if I did. So that is that. Some parents have a bad character to defend their children. It's no good.
Okay, it's bad character on the part of the parents who defend their children, and it is not good. So when should parents defend their children? Because if you ask me, if I cannot defend my child, then who can? This child that I birthed, this child that came out of me. At what instance should I defend my child? And at what point should I say, I beg, we can go face in this thing. Indwam. Me, I know say Indwam. Because, like someone said in the message, I grew up at that time too. If I did something wrong, nobody is waiting to report me to my father. Report what? They will deal with me. In short, it is in my best interest not to cry for my father to hear and ask me what happened. Then I now start telling him what I did that made them beat me. Because I will be the beating, it will touch me times 2. So it's better I just take the discipline and just do like this. Shh. I close my mouth and pray that the person who disciplined me does not mention to my father that I disciplined your what's it called? Your child. See what she did. Mira from Okrika, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Denise, a person can just walk up to me and begin to paint my child in a bad light. Then I will now support you. You know? Except I caught my child, and I know what to do Or even when you come to me and tell me that this is what my child did, Denise, I will not just live with you and keep telling you, don't mind that child. That is how they behave. She is. I will just tell you, okay, I'll deal with it. Don't question about it. Trust me, I will, it's not if I'm supporting my child, but the first thing I will do is to make sure I find out from the child, what actually happened. No, if it's a case of something, maybe something happened or I was not there and the person there, another parent came to me or another person came to me, a neighbor came to me and said, this is what your child did. That one is a different case. But if you come to me and tell me that, even if you don't come to that, say somewhere else, that you're spoiling my child, spoiling my child's name. It's your children. I will come to you and I know what to say to you. So find out whether children are saints or angels. You don't just paint my child bad and I begin to support you. I will defend my child.
Muriel,
I know the child.
Muriel,
I'm listening.
Defending your child on the grounds that you know your child's capabilities is different. Like I said, I know say my pikin no fit thief now. If you come to me and tell me that my 1 year and how many months old child stole, I will look at you as a Kwensu. I mean, no disrespect. Because what does this child know that the child is stealing? It doesn't make sense. That is you defend with same energy and the same pattern as I would defend my child when I know my child is innocent. That's the question.
Absolutely not, Denise. But even when I know my child is guilty, Denise, I will not join you in crucifying or to crucify my child there in public, honestly, Denise.
Really?
Change. I know. I will not join you.
Okay.
Say, that's how she is. A useless child, or you say, this little boy is a this. Denise, I won't do that. Do you know the power of the tongue?
Okay.
The child, even no matter how bad the child is, I'm praying for this child to change. Every parent wants their child to change, no matter how bad it is. Then I'll come outside and to prophesy. Do you know how powerful the tongue is? I will not join you. I will even caution you, please. I know, okay, please stop. It's okay, please. You don't talk about the abuse child to me now. I cannot take it. No matter how bad my child is to me. God will not accept, but I'm just giving an instance. No matter how bad that child is, I will not expect a parent to join hands, in condemning, cursing their child. No.
All right then.
I see that, okay, the child can do this, but please stop. I'm praying the child can change. Okay, I know what to do. I will talk to them. I will do this, I will do that. But I will not join you in cursing my child. I will not do that.
All right. Thank you, Muriel. Promise from Emoha. Please, you would have to call back. Denise, I sometimes wonder why parents of today who grew up in the 70s and 80s and got good quality upbringing, though not perfect, have all decided to spoil their children and copy a culture which has also failed woefully in the climes they are copying from. So sad. Big Will send that in. Times are changing. Discipline models are changing. Yesterday I was, what would I say I was doing on the gram? I was on Facebook and there's this thing that happens when you're on a social media site. Videos of people you are not following will pop up as reels. So one of those videos popped up as a reel. A mother was clearly videoing the things the daughter had done. So the mother is a baker. And I can totally relate because I bake too. The child had gone to pinch cake from all the 3 different pans, and she was supposed to supply this cake to a client. And, she told the child to face the wall, and then she said, why, how do you even conceive, how do you even have the mind? You did not eat 1 cake. You ate 3. How am I supposed to come up with, a beautiful cake after what you had done? And she told the child, look at me. The child kept looking at the wall. She told the child, look at me again. I think the mother said it 3 times. And guess what? The comment section were filled with people condemning this woman that she had spoilt this child to the point that she's telling the child, look at me. And the child is not looking. that the child is supposed to be trembling at her feet. The child is supposed to be, who born you? My children can, everybody started saying, my child cannot do that. You see this thing you did? My child cannot do it. My child cannot touch what I did not tell my child to touch. My child cannot go and do. And I kept saying, okay, if your child cannot do this and your child cannot do that, who are the children doing this and children doing that? Now, look at me and the child did not look at her could have meant the fear she had for the mother. I don't want to face this woman. I know I have done bad. So when she said, look at me, I'd rather face this wall in peace than look at me. It could be. So why was that a yardstick for judging a mother's parental skills? When you and I know that no matter how you train a child, for some children, then get coconut head. No justification for them having coconut head. I mean, you see a very renowned bishop, prim and proper, doing the Lord's work, healing the sick, raising the dead, leading people to salvation. And by the time you see this man's children, hey, you see why who caused these children? Like, why are these children bringing shame to their father? So the father knows. Should he kill himself? He tried from the upbringing point. These children grew up and they say they want to go their own ways. They want to see things for themselves, and it's the darkness part of this world that they like. So I'm not here to judge parental patterns as to whose parent is doing a better job at raising a child and whose parent is not. But I think we all agree on one thing since the beginning of this conversation. The kind of upbringing we received it set us in the right direction. Like, it corrected our head. That's our head that refused to be correct. By the time we received that, the thing correct by force. Who born you? Like, how do you form? How do you exist not to have correct head after receiving that kind of training? Because you are running away from your father's beating. Your uncle is waiting with his own. You're running away from your uncle's beating until they once said with Cain. And then we grew up and then we say, they abused us as children. Oh, this was child abuse. So child abuse gone. My child will not pass through what I passed through. If you see the beating I received, my child will not receive that kind of beating. But you received the beating and you didn't die. Not to say that some of our parents were not extreme, but that formula worked. I'm not saying that formula will work for this generation, but there are things that you can actually pick from that generation that would help. Some of us receive slap that set us in the right path. But why always defend your child? Well, Muriel shares a different opinion on that. I will not join them to castigate you. I will not do this in public. I will do my own in private. But in the end, would it help? Does it help them? Because if outsiders are saying one thing and mommy is saying another thing, they begin to think outsiders are the bad guys.
Nigeria Info will be right back.
I have a dream.